Welcome to Bad Gear, the show about the world's most hated audio tools. In case you are currently planning to buy a monophonic synthesizer, there is quite a variety to choose from. Retro-style Rolands, vivid Vermonas, modern Moogs, Brutes, Crafts, the temptation of Uli and, of course, all the analog and digital beauties you can find on the used market, just to name a few. Today we are going to talk about the Monologue, and it's one of Korg's most recent attempts to get a share of this fiercely competitive market. They took one voice of the Poly 800 successor and Akai Turbo Wolf rival Minilog, cut down on some features, improved others, let a legendary artist design a few presets and put a price tag on it that might have led to some discussions in the Behringer C-suite. Seems great, but do I really need another mono synth?
At the first glance, the Korg Monologue is ticking all the no internet Google Chrome dinosaur game boxes. One of the tiny displays that still works better than those on 90% of all Roland devices, smooth, rubbery and completely wobble-free knobs, 70s hi-fi switches and a slightly over-designed pitch bend thing with a special twist. The mini keys feel a little more grown-up than the ones on the Micro Korg. Korg put a lot of analog synth goodness into this little keyboard. Two oscillators that can be Batmaned with a shape functionality. There's sync and ring modulation. And yet another two-pole filter on a mono synth that makes the internet ask why put a two-pole filter on a mono synth. It is capable of self-oscillation, and I have heard more inspiring overdrives. The envelope has been described as the weak spot of the Monologue. Attack and decay can be applied to two envelope shapes, a plucky and a non-plucky one. You can set the VCA to an organ-like on-off and apply the envelope to filter and pitch only. The envelope might be a deal breaker for some. The LFO is quite juicy and can be used as a simple envelope as well. The sequencer is an integral part of the Monologue sound, easy to use with a minimum of menu diving. There are multiple lanes for parameter automation and it follows external MIDI sync without any issues. Sequencer start can be assigned to key trigger. And it goes without saying that a modern synth like the Monologue has a pattern length of multiple bars. Just kidding, it's 16 steps. Korg included a bunch of nice presets, some of them created by the one and only Richard D. James, like, for example, liquid basses, slightly impractical sequencer showcases, slow attack leads, and proper IDM drums. The synth can be powered using batteries or one of these more or less proprietary Korg power supplies. Sync in and out are low PPQ only, and my obsession with full-sized 5-pin MIDI ports has become a bit ridiculous. I know. Thanks to local music tech retailer Klangfarbe for lending me one of their monologues.
The Korg Monologue is a compact and versatile instrument with some awesome features. Is it still just another affordable mono synth among many?
You have already heard the monologue in today's intro tune. Solid job, thanks. I am pretty sure that a modern analog synth and an old school digital drum machine go together well.
That's a pretty neat interface, and a large variety of analog tones is only the flick of a switch away. I do have to note that the sweet spots are not super large, and some tweaks that work great on other monos ended up in a dead end on the monologue. The 16 steps of the sequencer can be quite limiting. Time to hook it up to the BeatStep Pro. The key trigger functionality of the sequencer works like a sophisticated arpeggiator, and I like the metallic tones you can get from pushing the shape parameter of the oscillators. There is no real learning curve, but I still don't feel 100% at home using the monologue. The sonic potential is obvious, but we're not quite there yet. Let's push it a little further with the power of the DAW in this glow-sticking drum and bass break Korg Neurostep. The Korg Monologue is a nicely designed instrument, but the one thing that really sets it apart from the competition is the implementation of the sequencer. It becomes an essential part of the sound design process and gives the whole workflow a groovebox feel reminiscent of Korg's very own Electribes. Unfortunately, the Monologue inherited some of the Electribe's limitations as well, most prominently the stripped down pattern length and envelope of the latest generation. I think it has become obvious that I had a hard time getting results I liked, which is not necessarily the instrument's fault. Still, most of the tones I was able to dial in were either too aggressive or too fuzzy sounding for my taste. If you like this sound, the Monologue is a great choice, but my search for the ideal mono synth will continue. Thanks for watching and see you next time! Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to like, subscribe, become a patron and leave a comment what other kind of gear you would like to see and hear on the show.